Well, the Fox News at Night Common Sense Department thinks Democrats know how to pick them, from candidates to cause celebs. The left has a knack for the noxious, an attraction to the harmful and unpleasant. Turns out there's new information about Kilmar Abrego Garcia, better known to Democrats as Saint Kilmar, the Maryland man wrongly sent to El Salvador, his home country. It seems that before St. Kilmar's wife requested a protective order accusing him of repeatedly beating her, she requested another protective order where not only was there abuse, she claims her husband boasted that he could, quote, kill his wife and no one could do anything to him. And Mrs. Abrego Garcia's first husband also said under oath that St. Kilmar is a gang member. Who would have guessed? Maybe that's why Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries is reportedly discouraging Democrats from making more trips to El Salvador, which is fine with Ilhan Omar. Instead of flying a plane south, she'd rather fly the finger north. When asked about the new allegations against Abrego Garcia, Omar told the reporter to F off, then doubled down on social media saying, quote, I said what I said. You and all your miserable trolls can F off. Common Sense sees a campaign ad coming in the near future. Vote for Omar and Kilmar, delivering Republicans an effing beating. Let's bring in the founder and CEO of Conservateur, former White House official Jamie Franklin, along with Daily Wire actor and former LA GOP Vice Chair Siaka Massaquoi. Thank you both for coming on. We want to get back to the kind of start of the show here, Siaka, with you. When Signalgate first happened back in March, the President Trump, was very confident in Mike Walls. He said the following back then. Watch.
The main thing was nothing happened. The attack was totally successful. It was, I guess, from what I understand, took place during, and it wasn't classified information. I always say you have to learn from every experience. I think it was very unfair the way they attacked Michael. He's a good person.
Even back then, a lot of people suspected, Siaka, there was going to be a change at some point in time. What do you think about this whole thing?
You know, I think that this is, President Trump said it perfectly when he says you're going to learn a lot of things, you know, as you're going through this process. And he learned a lot from his first term and all the different leakers and all the different people that were trying to sabotage him. I think this is a case where you have your Mike, good person. He said he's a great person, but you know what? He's going to have to go through trial by fire through the confirmation hearings, and hopefully then he can still stay on. But this is actually a sign of, whether it was him or somebody that worked under him, it's a sign of his leadership within his organization, and that there may be someone compromised in there, and they had to make a move so he's not as close to the heads of, you know, these cabinets. I think it's actually a smart thing to do, and still give him a chance to save some face.
Meantime, you had the Vice President, J.D. Vance, talking about the war in Ukraine. Jamie, he said this, and I'll get your response.
What we've seen now in the last couple of weeks is each side has put down, this is our peace proposal. The Ukrainians did it, the Russians did it, and now I think the question is to see whether we can actually find some middle ground here for these guys to bring this conflict to a close. I really don't believe that any person, of the 8 billion people in the world, I don't think anybody could have gotten this deal done other than Donald J. Trump.
When I heard him say that the first time to Bret Baier on Special Report, I thought, you know, when he says the only person who can get this done is Donald Trump, it seems like there's this air of confidence that maybe there's going to be a deal in the works here, or at least a deal they could get done. What do you think about this?
I mean, President Trump ran on being the president of peace, and peace is what he's going to deliver. This war is horrendous. Thousands of civilians are dying every single day. It needs to end. And Americans have been footing the taxpayers have been footing the bill since the beginning. We put in more money than the entire EU combined. So for the sake of Ukraine, for the sake of Russia, for the sake of America and the world, it's time for Zelensky and Putin to come to the table. And I think J.D. Vance is 1,000% correct. No one else can do that besides President Trump.
Well, this mineral deal might help, but there is still a lot of headbutting to see if they can agree on something at the table. Meantime, you have Democrats going against common sense, Siaka. They are rallying with the wife of Abrego Garcia. Watch this.
We are having our own shadow hearing to make sure that we bring back Kilmar Abrego Garcia to the United States to be treated as if he has committed crime when there is no crime to speak of.
It's racist. It's white supremacy in the White House.
The wife feared this man, Siaka. She feared her husband. Her kids feared the man. And the more we learn about him, the worse this story gets. And the Democrats just keep saying, nope, he's our guy.
You know, I find it really poetic that the Democrats are rallying behind a guy whose name starts with kill. The Democrats have said multiple times they are a death cult, and they're pushing their way all the way there. And I keep hearing them scream about due process, due process. If any American wants to know how much they hate America, they weren't saying a word about due process for so many people who were unjustly grabbed and spent time in that D.C. gulag because of January 6th. They said nothing about hundreds and thousands of people who were on a secret security list for every time they fly, myself and Tulsi Gabbard included with this Quiet Skies, with not even being charged anything. So if you want to see how much they really dislike Americans, look how much the effort they're putting in for a killer, an MS-13 to get in. So everyone knows, in order to get in, you have to kill an innocent person. That's the person that they decided to jump on the bandwagon for. But it's not surprising because the Democrats are a death cult.
Yep, it is crazy. Meantime, I want to play this soundbite because it's Kamala Harris. This thing aired live on our show last night. Here's part of the last part of the thing. Watch.
Who saw that video from a couple of weeks ago? The one of the elephants at the San Diego Zoo during the earthquake? They got in a circle and stood next to each other to protect the most vulnerable. Think about it. What a powerful metaphor.
I think I speak for everyone at the White House. We encourage Kamala Harris to continue going out and do speaking engagements.
As a viewer reminded us, Jamie, the elephants, by the way, are the Republicans. The elephants surround their own. The donkeys kick them out of the weakest, right? So your last comments, I got 15 seconds for you.
I mean, it's clear Democrats haven't learned a thing. And I think a lot of Americans had a lot of issues with a lot of Kamala Harris's policies that she put forward. But I think at the top of that list is her fake personality and her fake laugh. And Americans want authenticity right now. That's why they voted in President Trump. And all she has to offer is contrived and frankly cringy speeches, and it's hard to watch. And I agree with Caroline Levitt. Keep her talking.
Let them talk.
It'll be an easy 2028.
Jamie, Siaka, thank you both.